hip 90-90, lead leg, pails. To get into your 90s, start by letting both knees fall the same direction. At that point, we're looking for 3 90-degree angles. The first is at the groin, the second and third are at the front and back knees. You will get your 90s. Think about trying to sit as upright as you can. The focus is this lead leg, which is in maximal external rotation. In order to move deeper into that range, think chest up, lean your trunk forward. So when you do that, you should feel additional tension or loading kind of in this posterior lateral hip area of the leading hip. So basically every part of your hip that's like touching the ground, that's where you should feel this really tighten up. Now, if you are doing a positional hold for a few minutes before you do your pails, this is where you can pause and hold your 2 minutes and then push start, because I'm going to go right into the pails contractions. So pails contractions have to occur at your end range. So even if you sat here for a few minutes, you should remain forward. Do not back out of your stretch. You should still feel tension in this leading hip area. To produce the contractions, nothing actually moves. Think of using the muscles of your hip to drive your foot, ankle, and maybe like the lower third of your lower leg into the floor. And you're going to start off light. On a scale of 1 to 10, a 1. Now I'm going to go ahead and start, and you can start with me. Just give it a light push into the floor, and you should feel all that stuff on that, all the stuff that's pulled tight also contract now. You'll feel it pull even tighter. Now you're going to increase how hard you're pushing into the floor. So move from a 1 to a 2 on a scale of 10. Bring it up to a 3. Bring it up to a 4. Then a 5. You should really be getting stiff in that area. A 6, 7, 8. Keep pushing. You should get shaky around an 8, a 9, and then a 10. That's pushing down as hard as you possibly can. If you want a little extra challenge, you can lift the hands off the floor if you can. Keep pushing hard as you can. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Now gradually relax back to 0. We never just turn a contraction off. We always turn it down. Turn it down all the way to 0. If following a pails contraction, you feel like you can actually sink a little deeper into the range, go ahead and take up that space. If not, stay where you're at in the range. Also, if you did your pails contractions and you felt that you weren't able to push very hard into the floor, you just physically didn't have much strength or power, in that situation, I would say just back out of the range, just enough to where you can feel like you can put a significant amount of force into the floor, because we want a really strong contraction with these pails. In real time, as you're doing this, if you have a hold, you will do that first, then you will stay in your stretch, move straight into these. If you don't have a hold, you just go straight into these, that's fine. You'll get in your position, you will ramp up your contraction to as hard as you can, and you'll hold for the designated time, and then you'll relax. If you have more than one set, you would stay forward in your stretch the whole time between your sets of contractions.